Hey everyone, it's Mackenzie here and I'm with Tanesh.
Hi, Mackenzie. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think it's going to be super valuable for those that watch.
No worries at all. Excited to be
Awesome.
here.
So just to give everyone a bit of a background, so Tanesh joined the Grad Jobs program late in 2020, around September, October, something like that. And he graduated from Melbourne University, prestigious university. He actually already had some really cool experience, which we'll dive into a little bit later. And originally, he wanted to get a job in kind of web development, but he's actually landed a job that's more in the software engineering space, which he seems to really like. So we'll also dig into that. So he's been very, very successful. I think he's starting at ANZ as a site reliability engineer in a week or so.
Yep.
Awesome. And so Tanesh and I, we worked quite a bit together on a range of different things. Just to mention a couple, kind of selling yourself, building relationships, creating opportunities, interviewing, all those sorts of good things that lead to jobs. And yeah, he's done an amazing job, and yeah, been really, really successful. I can't wait to see where he does go. Probably wherever he likes. So in this interview, we're going to just dig into his story basically, and we're going to shine a light on how he was able to achieve this awesome success. And hopefully there's some nuggets in there that people can take away and use and create the same kind of success as themselves. Should we get started?
Yep, let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so take us back to before you started university. Why did you choose computer science? And obviously UniMel is one of the best universities in the world. But why UniMel?
I think like for me, why Melbourne Uni was like because I knew they had a great program. If at the time anyways, it was like ranked like number 14 or something for computer science worldwide. So that's something that really drew me to go to Melbourne Uni. But in terms of like doing computer science, and I think whoever's watching this, I think they can resonate with the idea of like problem solving, and I think that's really the exciting part of doing like anything that's IT or like computer science or software engineering. It's just like of solving a problem. And I discovered that when I was in high school, just like working through a coding problem, and I really just being so immersed in that. So I knew that I knew I wanted to do that at university, and I knew that I wanted to do that for as a career as well. So I decided to go into Melbourne Uni and to study computer science. And yeah, I mean, it was a lot challenging, more challenging than high school, but something that was really enjoyable and something that I really enjoyed. So it's exactly why I did it.
Amazing. And I've got your LinkedIn profile in front of me. So during uni, I think before we've even met, you co-founded Future Proof Education, which looks pretty cool. And you were a software development instructor at both Code Camp and Code Joy. Could you, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about those? Firstly, the company or the business you co-founded, and the other roles and what they were and things like that.
Yeah, happy to share all about that. So the Future Proof business that I started, that was actually me and a couple of friends. We thought something that's not often taught in schools is financial education. So we decided, why don't we create something that can kind of give the basics to students about finance and about taxes, about bank accounts, just the basics. So we decided to create this business, and basically we went to a couple schools around our area, and we just got up in front of students and told them all about, bank accounts and taxes and saving money. And I think more than anything, we really benefited from that, like getting up in front of like a lecture of students. Maybe it was like sometimes 100 people, and just telling and getting in front of them and then talking about something. So I think that really helped us in terms of our presentation skills. But I think it also gave back to the students and help them learn something.
That's awesome.
But besides that, I also did the CodeJoy and CodeCamp. I taught there as coding instructors, software dev instructor, and that was also like somewhat similar. It was getting in front of a classroom of like teens and primary age students, and basically teaching them about code. And it was really like satisfying experience, like being able to teach someone else, and then for them to understand it and grow as a person. It is satisfying. So yeah, I really had really enjoyed that being able to do that. And I taught them Python and JavaScript, and it doesn't matter about the language, but at the end of the day, delivering and helping them to learn the problem solving skills. So yeah, that was something that I really enjoyed.
Amazing. And so with if you don't mind me asking, with the kind of teaching instructor positions, how did you go about getting those kind of jobs during university? Like, was it advertised at uni, or what was the story there?
So I started off at CodeJoy actually, and basically I saw this job advertised on my uni's career page. For those who go to Melbourne Uni, it's careers online, and I saw the job advertised there. I applied for it, and then I just went for the interview, and I happened to get it. And basically I had had about a year's experience doing that, with CodeJoy, and I had a lot of different experiences. I didn't just instruct there, help them with creating lesson plans, and I helped out in when they had these exhibitions. I went out and helped them with that as well. So it was actually a lot of experience in just like that one kind of role that I did with them. And from there, CodeCamp, I later applied, and I think with CodeCamp, they kind of saw my experience from CodeJoy, and they were willing to take me on at that point. So I think one led from the other. Started from CodeJoy, and then later I applied for CodeCamp, and they were willing to take me on.
That's awesome. And do you think the CodeJoy one potentially came from the future-proof education experience? Do you think that gave you the advantage there?
Maybe. I think being able to deliver to students, I think that's something they look for more than the technical skills. Yeah,
that's awesome. So from quite early on, you've already gained a lot of experience, interpersonal skills, teaching. It seems like teaching is something you're quite passionate about.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy it.
Awesome. And then, so to add to that, you got a data science internship at the university. So how, what did you end up doing there, and how did you land that?
That one was somewhat similar to CodeJoy. There was this internship. It was just on our careers page, and then I applied for it. And I talked to the professor just via email, and then I met him one day for like a coffee chat, and basically, he showed me all this all the things that the university is doing to kind of like improve their data, and kind of like learn about their students and learn about the infrastructure that they have. And I was just I guess I was really interested in what he had to say, and he was like, he'd be delighted to have me on board for the internship. So After I did the coffee chat with him, yeah, he offered me the internship, and then I spent about a month there. And basically it was just doing some data analytics work regarding, the infrastructure of the uni, working with Python and pandas, the library, NumPy sort of thing. But yeah, there was a lot more to gain from that as well. I think that, you seeing kind of like a bit more of getting a bit of real world experience while at uni. So it opened my mind up a little bit more.
Awesome. All right. And so I think we're getting up to a kind of around when you joined Grad Jobs, but there is one more here, a freelance web developer position.
Yeah.
I think so. You've actually landed some opportunities from a variety of unique approaches. They're a bit different. Most people think you have to go and apply for an internship at some corporate company, but your first one here, you've created with a group of friends, created your own business, which is, awesome, just as good as an internship. And then you've gone and then become a freelance web developer. So how did you go about that? And what was the motive behind it? What was when did you make that decision and why?
So this one was an interesting bit that happened to me because, I find this really interesting because I first applied for CodeJoy a while ago, and then, I did this 1 year with them. And basically, I kind of went above and beyond. Like I did the instructing and I wanted to learn more. So I, created this lesson plans and I helped them with the exhibition and all of this. So basically from there, one of my colleagues there was actually kept a close eye on me, I guess. I mean, he just kind of like, he never said anything, but fast forward a year from then, or probably more, he gives me a call and says, "Oh, I want to start my own business. Can you help me with the website?" And you showed so much like passion and so much like, the willing to go above and beyond and so much like enthusiasm that he was like, let's work together. Can you help me with this? And so I was like, yeah, that's something that would benefit me because, I would be getting real world experience and, I can help you out as well. So yeah, that opportunity just like landed from CodeJoy. And so I helped him, build this education site, kind of a different business. And yeah, that was really successful because I, had this opportunity to learn a lot more about real world, technology, real world business. So yeah, it was really, really good experience that I had for a few months. And then the thing is, then I got my second client and unrelated, I was just working on this project at this like co-working space. And then, this guy sees me working on this project and he's like, "Oh, you know what? I have an education business. Can you help me with my like, my website, my IT stuff?" So I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can do it." So, I kind of led one after the other and it was just like coincidental. Like I didn't plan it as much. It just kind of happened. And these experiences were really, really good because, I could talk about them time and time again during an interview. I'm like, I've had this real world experience in developing. I've had this real world experience of understanding client requirements and working with clients. And I think this is like really valuable for when I went for an interview or just from my own experience even.
Definitely. That's awesome. And a lot of what I'm seeing here is that you're genuinely adding value wherever you go. And it's just kind of coming back. It's like it's an equal and opposite reaction straight from your initial value add.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is awesome. And then it's kind of, so we get up to earlier last year, you also landed a customer service role at Serco. So I think this will be the last kind of pre-grad jobs experience that we talk about. But what did you do here, and how did you land this one?
Yeah, this is again like like something that just luck, I guess. But I kind of I built this really good relationship with. I try to build good relationships wherever I go,
Yeah.
and I think I think that's a good thing to do regardless. But when I was at uni, I built this really good relationship. He's my mate, and basically he already had the job there, and he was just like, "Oh, do you want me to help you get a job here?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's do it." And then he's like, and he just got me the job there. So I mean, it was. I had to give in my resume. I still had to do another interview, but like it definitely like accelerated the process.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's quite a well-known company as well. It's not a small one.
Yeah.
And so another theme that I'm gathering here is relationships. So the first business is through relationships created that, and the Melbourne University data science internship. He liked you, had a coffee with him.
Yeah.
Again, freelance web developing business.
Yeah.
Relationships once again, and then Circo relationships. Almost too easy.
Yeah.
It's so funny, isn't it? That's awesome. Okay, so now you're coming up to kind of the end or finished your degree. You're coming up to the end of your degree.
Yeah.
And later in this year, 2020, post graduating, you decided to join and work with me at Grad Jobs. What was the main driver for doing that? Why did you want to join?
The main thing for me was I wanted to find that grad job at the next year, and I think for me there was a lot of things that I could have improved on, interview skills, resumes, and I think mindset was a big one. That I think that's the biggest thing I've gained from Grad Jobs is the mindset aspect of landing a job. And so I heard about your program, and then we had a conversation about it, and I knew this is what I wanted to do because I knew I had areas to fix, and I knew your program could help me with that as well. So yeah.
Awesome. And before joining, did you know that mindset was something you wanted to gain, or was that kind of a byproduct?
I think in some ways it was a kind of a mix, because I knew that I was lacking in mindset. Like, if I can look back to prior to Grad Jobs, and I think at that state I was like I think that at that state it was kind of like hard to kind of envision where I would be. So I think it's necessary in kind of like it's necessary to kind of to make that transition. And I think Grad Jobs definitely helped me with that. And but I think it's a mix. I think it's a byproduct, but it was also something that that I kind of thought about a little bit.
Awesome. Yeah, I do still remember our first conversation, and you have definitely developed as a person. Like you've come a long way. I'm not saying that's because of necessarily Grad Jobs, but it's just great to see how far someone can come in a short period of time, through whatever it is. Like you've done incredibly well. It's very, very impressive. And the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, so much confidence. It's great to see. It seems like you're really, really happy with the success you've got. So it's awesome. I thought I'd mention that.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Okay. All right. So join Grad Jobs. You mentioned you wanted to gain some of those skills, but you also mentioned mindset was something that you probably was probably the most beneficial aspect of grad jobs, which is really cool because I don't think anyone said that yet on one of these interviews. So if you don't mind,
Yeah.
could you get any more specific? What specifically was it about the mindset that helped you, or just how did it help you?
Yeah, this is the biggest thing for me, like no doubt about it, that I can remember from that period. Because to be honest, at that point I was kind of like uncertain about, whether I could achieve what I wanted to do, whether I could be a developer, whether I could be a software engineer. Um, and the thing that really, really like helped me was like reaffirming that. So I think one of the, you covered this in your program, but essentially like, um, you know, uh, kind of having a, defining the goal and then kind of like looking at it every day and kind of like thinking about it. And then, yeah, it worked so well. Like, and even like, even you said about how think of your body and your mind as two separate things. And, you know, if you kind of just think of it as like, playing a game, like if I say get up, like say you're watching Netflix and you're like, oh, I have this piece of work to do, then just like press X and get up. And that it just worked. I was listening to that and then I just did like all the activities that you set out. And yeah, it was really effective, to just kind of help that mindset get out of that routine and build a new routine and have a clear goal in mind, know what you're like kind of striving for. And yeah, it seems like fluff, but it really works.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Listening to it now, it does sound a bit like fluff, but yeah, no, it's unbelievable. I still remember, like, if we go back to when I was at KPMG, I used to, instead of getting the bus into work, I used to park kind of on the edge of the city and then do a massive walk into the office. And every day as I was walking, I was doing that. And at the time, I was like, surely this is silly. But then everything just starts working. Things just start kind of almost like the environment conspires to make it happen. It's super weird, but it's awesome, right? It's not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just doing it.
Yeah.
And that's funny how you liked that bit about kind of that mindset. Some people don't like that. They think it's a bit hardcore, a bit weird. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it and it worked. Because it is kind of like that, isn't it? You just kind of have to call the shots sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. It helped me a ton. Yeah, just looking back at it now, like you can get so much more done in a day, like you don't even realize. But like, once you set these things out, you know what you have to do. Like, and that's a big thing that helped me.
Do you think that getting more done in a day was kind of primarily due to being able to control like those impulses more in terms of like procrastinating and things like that, and having that direct vision that kind of almost gives you that energy? Were they the two primary factors to you having more efficiency essentially?
Yeah.
Or was there anything else?
It was like knowing exactly what, for me, it was knowing exactly what I wanted, right? Like I knew I wanted to be a developer. I knew I wanted to get into IT, software engineering or software development, but I knew this is what I wanted at the end of the day. So it made things like a lot easier because it was like, if this is what I want, then, this is what I have to do to kind of get there. So, just do it kind of thing, rather than if you didn't have that kind of that set out goal, then it's like, why am I doing this for? And it makes it a lot harder. It's much easier to procrastinate. So having that kind of that set out goal initially, and you get us to do that at the start, right? So it was is really beneficial because this is what you want. So the rest of it becomes easier. Like, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing, resumes. This is why I'm doing interview prep. Is because I want that end result.
Awesome. And it's already been, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. One thing I know you spent a bit of time on, and I won't go into it too deep, but you spend a bit of time kind of facing those fears of reaching directly out to CEOs, web developers, etc., at different organizations, and just going in cold, trying to have chats with them and build relationships. And I've got a vague memory of, I think you were going on a chat with a CEO, and maybe an hour before or something, we had a call about it. Yeah. He was so nervous.
True.
Oh, it was awesome. But anyway, you built up a lot of courage to do that stuff. So the first question is, how did you muster up that courage? And the second one is, how did you feel after your first chat? I'll remind you of the second one, don't worry.
Okay. The first one was just like, I was just like, after I built that mindset, the mindset was a big thing. So after I built that mindset, I gained that kind of more confidence and like knowing what I wanted. So, being that I kind of had that, I was already doing it for a couple of days. So I was building that confidence. And then basically I just kind of said to myself, like, like I have to do it. Like I have to try and just see what happens. So yeah, I just essentially crafted kind of like the best email I could do and just do it. Like just send it out, see what happens at the end of the day. That was the biggest thing. I think that was just like, just try it. Like if I fail, I fail, but I have to see, for myself. So that was the biggest like thing that, just that motivated to kind of like push me. It's like, just try it at the end of the day, see.
And how did you feel after executing that first chat with someone? Did you feel like a relief or did you feel a buzz?
I felt amazing. Like I was like, to get to like that point, I remember it now. It's like, I was looking back at it because it's like, to get to that point, it was like, it took a lot of growth. So from the day I started, like your program and, waking up earlier and, setting those goals and all of that and getting into that routine from that to getting that first chat and then finishing that chat, I was like, wow, like I've grown so much during that time. So I was like, wow, I was like, I felt amazing because I was like, I could see the growth and I was like, it just felt good.
That's awesome. And from memory as well, after that, every time I kind of touched base with you, you were like, yeah, I'm having another chat. And you just kept kind of doing this stuff like it was easy for you.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. It became easy after that one. It was like I kind of knew how to structure the email better. And I knew how to, get those chats a little bit better. So it definitely became easy after the first one. I was like waiting for the first one for a while, like, after doing the mindset and the routines and all that, crafting those emails. So I was waiting for that for a while, but then it definitely became like a lot easier after that.
Awesome. That's so good. And then, so you ended up your job that you've got now, you're moving into, so you went through a training program with a company called FDM Group. And so you've got training on a specific set of skills, and now you're heading to ANZ Bank as a site reliability engineer. Is that correct?
Yep, that's
correct. Awesome. And so what do you think, if you had to tell people watching, what was the main thing that helped you to get that opportunity? Such a premium, in the end, working for ANZ as a site reliability engineer, it's such a premium job. it seems, for a software engineer or computer science grad, less than a year out. What would you tell them was the secret to your success? What helped you get in and nail it? And how do you even find the opportunity?
So yeah, I mean, FDM helped me with the opportunity in the end. But I think, even prior to FDM, like I built up so much of like doing the side projects, I did the AWS cert. I joined the developer meetups, the dev community of practice, Melbourne. If anybody wants to join as well, that's amazing meetup group that we have. I did those things, and I did, I had a mentor there, and I did a side project with the group, and I did all these things, and even before FDM, right? And when I came to FDM and I did the interview with them, I was like, I could talk about all these things, for one. And then, even like I did the interview with ANZ, and I had all these things to talk about as well. I was like, I did the certs, I did the AWS cert, I went to the meetups, I did the projects. So I think if there's one thing that like I could say to whoever's watching, is that, I think I think doing these things, like doing the side projects, doing the certs, and like, joining the meetups, doing Mackenzie's program, is all like beneficial. It's all like cumulative to kind of like help you in the kind of like the long run, or what you're striving for. I think it can't just be like one thing at the end of the day. I think, you got to try multiple things and see kind of what sticks. So yeah, for me, I was doing all these things, and that was so beneficial to end up where I am now.
It's almost like, what that kind of description to me, it makes me think of, those video games where you have like you have these different attributes, and you're kind of like leveling up in like all these different areas. It's almost like you were just like, I'm going to go, and you're just kind of targeting each of these areas to just grow. Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Absolutely.
So good. And then when you have the interview with FDN group, they're like, wow, this guy's awesome. And then when you have the interview with ANZ, they're like, wow, this guy's awesome. Simple as that. And then you've got all this confidence from the chats you're having, and all this hard, cold messaging.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. It's all worth it in the end. Like it was very like good experience.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Is there anything, I guess we're just going to wrap up soon. So to people watching this, maybe they're an IT grad or computer science grad, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just a student, or maybe they're a grad that's been looking for work for 2 years and they haven't got anything yet. Could be any one of these people. If you had to, knowing what you know now, you're sitting there in this awesome job, put in tons of work, finally got to that pinnacle, that top of the mountain, been walking up it for a while. Now that you're there, what would be your top pieces of advice? You could give, as many as you like, one piece of advice, two pieces, however many.
Yeah, I think getting the experience, and okay, one thing I would say is getting that, doing the things outside of uni that's beneficial. Whether that's side projects, jobs, it helps you build your skills, whether that's technical skills or communication skills. I think that's really, really important. It's really helped me. Another thing is like, building those strong relationships with people. I think for me, that's so far it's really helped me to try to get different experiences, and yeah, it helped me to get different experiences and do different things. So yeah, I think that's also another thing that's really important, building these relationships. And then I think lastly, a lot of value that I got was from there's so many things I could say, but I think that if one thing that for IT grads right now, if you're watching this, like join the developer meetup, join the meetups that's available. Uh, because there's a lot of experienced professionals who come to this. It's free, it's absolutely free, you don't have to do anything, you just join, you go to the sessions, and they have like all this advice to throw at you. There's recent grads there's professionals, there's students, and all of this, and you can connect with them and learn from them. And I've learned so much from them already. When I was at uni, I did the AWS cert, for example, and although this is just like a basic cert, it's super easy. Anybody can do it in like 2 weeks or less. And one thing that has come up time and time again in an interview is the cert. Like people actually value it, like in industry. So, and the reason I did it was because somebody in the developer group was like, "Oh, you should do it." So I did it, and it's actually paid off a lot, big time. So yeah, if I can immediate things that people can kind of put in practice is like getting just that experience doing the side projects and doing things on the side, building those relationships, and then like joining the meetup groups.
Awesome. Those meetup groups sound really fun.
Yeah, they're good fun.
It sounds like a great way, not just to build relationships, but also to understand the market. Because one of the things that it seems that people find challenging is just figuring out what does the job market even want. And they often, what I find at least, is they make assumptions about that and they send their resume like to 100 places and they don't get in, and they're like, why didn't I get in? And then they ask, how do I figure that out? What they actually want. And meetups seems like a great way to do it because there's people from the industry there to have a bit of fun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really, really good, right? There's the group, like for example, this one is just a mix of like professionals and students, and it's just a mix of people. And there are a lot of professionals in the group, and basically they're currently working the job that you want, so they have a lot of like wisdom to share and a lot of knowledge about the industry.
Yeah, it's so good. And it's probably less daunting than a chat, isn't it, with the CEO?
Yeah, 100%.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you so much, Tanesh, for taking the time. I know you're super busy at the moment with all that training. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll get back to it ASAP. And I'm not sure if Tanesh will be open to emails from people, but I'll let you know.
Yeah, if you can add me on LinkedIn or shoot me an email, I'm more than happy to answer.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later.
No worries. Thanks, Mackenzie.
See you, Tanesh. Bye.